Dawood sat hunched over his desk in the quiet office. The only sound was the soft hum of the air conditioner and the persistent ticking of the wall clock. It was 7:46 p.m. The world outside had dimmed into night, but he was still here, staring at a glowing screen filled with numbers, slides, and tasks that never seemed to end. His shoulders were stiff, his eyes dry. Another day had slipped through his fingers. Another, "I'll do it tomorrow," whispered into the void. He reached for his phone absent-mindedly, and a photo popped up on the screen. It was his niece's birthday. She was beaming, surrounded by balloons and cake, a little party hat crooked on her head. She held a plate with a slice of cake. His slice. She had waited. He stared at the photo longer than he intended. He had promised her, "I'll be there. First slice is mine, okay?" But when the time came, he messaged instead, "Got caught up at work." "I'll make it up to you, princess." She had replied with a heart emoji. No words. That night, the guilt didn't let him sleep. The next evening, as he packed up his laptop, the phone rang again. This time, it was a voice from the past. Rahul, his best friend from college. The laughter in his voice was gone. "Dawood." "I don't know how to say this. I've been diagnosed. It's cancer." Stage 3, Dawood went still. The air thickened around him. "Man," Rahul continued, his voice cracking. "I always thought I had time. I kept pushing off everything. That Europe trip we talked about, the book I wanted to write, even spending more time with my parents. I thought I had years, but now I don't know if I even have months." Tears welled up in Dawood's eyes. He couldn't speak. Only silence answered. That night, he lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. Thoughts swirled like a storm. He remembered their hostel days, sleeping on bunk beds, writing bucket lists on the walls in chalk. Before 30, they had scribbled. Skydiving, a bike trip across Ladakh, a poetry night in a small cafe. He was now 34. That list? Forgotten. His dreams, replaced by promotions, emails, and deadlines. He whispered to himself in the dark, "What am I even doing with my life?" The next morning, he stood in front of the mirror. His face looked older than it should have. Lines, where laughter should have lived. Eyes that carried exhaustion instead of light. He touched his reflection gently, as if seeing himself for the first time in years. "I'm alive, but I'm not living," he whispered. And that hurt more than anything. A week later, he walked into his manager's office. With a quiet resolve, he placed his resignation letter on the desk. His boss blinked. "You're next in line for VP, Dawood. Are you sure?" Dawood smiled, not a polite smile, but the kind that comes from a soul starting to breathe again. "I've been chasing titles for 10 years. But the truth is, while I was building my future, I forgot to live in my present. I'm done postponing my life." He packed a bag, booked a solo trip to the Himalayas, and left without telling many people. It wasn't an escape. It was a return to himself. In the mountains, there was no Wi-Fi, no deadlines, no pressure, just silence, snow, sky, breath. He drank hot chai with locals who smiled with their eyes. He laughed with strangers around a bonfire. He wrote poetry again. He watched the sunrise alone on a hilltop where the sky turned pink and gold, like a miracle being born. As he sat there, his heart whispered, This is life. Not someday, not after success, now." When he returned, he didn't return to his old life. He started freelancing, enough to get by, but free enough to live. He cooked meals with his mum, played board games with his niece. He read books under sunlight, not screens. He called friends, not because he had a reason, but because he missed them. He started smiling without forcing it. A year later, he wrote to Rahul, "Thank you for waking me up, brother. I've lived more in the last year than I did in the last 10. I've stopped waiting for life to happen. I'm living it now. Let's finally do that road trip. Not next year, next week. I'll drive." The truth is, happiness isn't waiting for you at the end of the road. It's not something you earn when you've checked all the boxes. It's in today's smile, in a warm cup of tea, in showing up for the people you love. So stop waiting. Stop saying after this project, next month, someday. Because someday is the most dangerous word in the world. Don't postpone your happiness. You deserve to feel alive right now.